This is Kim Hammer with your devotion taken from the book of Judges, chapter 15, beginning with verse 11, going through the end of the chapter. Samson had just finished killing many Philistines because of what they had done to him regarding his wife, and he had gone down into a cave at a place called Lehi, and there he had hidden. The Philistines came to the tribe of Judah, and they encamped around them, and they were about to besiege them, and the men of Judah asked them, "Why is it that you're doing this to us?" And they told them the story of what Samson had done to them. So Judah cut a deal with the Philistines and said, "We'll deliver him unto you if you leave us alone." And so when they went down to get Samson and they encountered him, they asked two questions. The first one is, "What have you done to us?" And the second one is, "Don't you realize that the Philistines rule over us?" Samson himself responded with a statement. He said, "I merely did to them what they did to me." Now the point is that at this moment, Judah, the Israelites, had to make a decision. Were they going to rally behind Samson, who had proven himself to be a great leader, able to defeat the Philistines, the natural enemy of the Israelites, or were they going to capitulate and deliver Samson over to the Philistines in order to get the Philistines to leave them alone? As the story goes, they said to Samson, "If you'll let us tie you up and deliver you to the Philistines, we won't hurt you." And so Samson agreed, and they took two new ropes and they tied his hands and they delivered him to the Philistines. But here's where the story goes bad for Israel, but it also goes bad for the Philistines. Those two new ropes that they had tied him up with became just like charred rope, if you would, and they broke easily. And Samson turned around, picked up the jawbone of a donkey, and with that jawbone, he slayed 1,000 people. God took something that was supposed to be strong and made it weak so that his man could be strong. And then God took something that was dead and made it alive in order that he could deliver victory to his chosen person. Because in these scriptures we find for the fourth time the Bible tells us, "And the Spirit of the Lord came upon Samson." When the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you, you're able to do things that you wouldn't otherwise normally do, or that you would normally be capable of doing. But when the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you, there's nothing that can hold you back, even new rope, and there's nothing that God can't put in your hand and make it alive, even the jawbone of a dead donkey. Now somebody may say, "Well, why the jawbone of the donkey?" And the Bible gives us the answer. It says, "With the jawbone of a donkey, I've made donkeys of them." Samson not only made fools of the Philistines, but he also made fools of the Israelites, who chose instead to stand with Samson to deliver him over to the enemy. There were two groups that paid a price that day. The Philistines, because they thought that they could take out God's man, and the Israelites, who failed to stand behind God's man. We find that the Bible tells us in the book of Isaiah 40 and 29, he gives strength to the weak and increases powers of the weak. That's exactly what God did for Samson. He increased his power. He took that which was weak and made it strong. And God wants to do the same thing for you if you'll follow his leadership today.